What's up, everybody? Really appreciate you all for tuning in. Want to be able to say this. The Dallas Cowboys 2020 season is right around the corner. It really is. We got the free agency period, and then we have the combine, of course. That will change and sway a lot of people's thoughts on players. And then we're going to hit this thing right into the mix with the draft period. And then there's this post draft as it relates to this right here, the veteran era. West, when you go out there and you pick up a few veterans to help out this team. Now, I will say this. A lot of people are upset. A lot of people are angry. A lot of people are mad. A lot of people are thinking irrational. A lot of people are whining. And here's the thing. We have yet to play it down. We have yet to see this offense or defense or special team unit come into the mix. But all we can go by is the Jason Garrett administration. And I have to tell people this right quick. If you guys don't hear nothing from me from here on out, is that we got to look at it from this angle. Yes, this team, we underperformed. Yes, we didn't achieve to the likings that we want. Yes, we were 8-8. I get all of that. I understand all of that. But when you look at the total picture, now we went and got a whole new coaching staff. We looked at the offense and we said, you know what? Kellen Moore, we'll keep you. We would keep Nussmeyer. We would also keep Leon Lett. Everybody else, y'all can go. Everybody else. Shout out to your locks, man. Everybody else, you guys can go. But here's the thing, though, Cowboy Nation. I want people to just dial it back a little bit on the hate and all of this other stuff about Dak Prescott. All of the hate that you guys got about Amari Cooper. And also, got to understand, too, that the Ezekiel Elliott, the driving force for this particular offense, the driving force for this team, the person that's supposed to be our end all be all, right, Torres? Shout out to you, Devon. That's supposed to be the person anyway. But I will say this. When you add in Mike McCarthy, we had the number one total offense. I do know a lot of people say, hey, what about points? Well, what about this certain situation? Or all of those yards are in garbage time. All of those things, all of those negative connotations, all of those narrative that the national media like to pour upon everybody and they go run home with it and they think that they know something. They go run around and say, hey, Dak Prescott only got passing yards in garbage time. Oh, did you know that Dak Prescott is an 8-8 quarterback? Mm-hmm. He only went 8-8 one year. Not 3, not 4, 1 year, 8-8. So now he get labeled an 8-8 quarterback. I understand. I understand the hatred on that part of it and buying into the narrative. But I want people to understand not to break up this big three. Don't break up this big three. I'm gonna repeat, don't break up this big three. Because within the context of the big three that we have already with Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper and Ezekiel Elliott, you have some young phenoms that's growing up under them. The Gallups of the world, who I can say deserve to have his name out there, right? The Tony Pollard, although his rookie year was good last season, we want to see him elevate his game a little bit more, right? So it's not just the big three, but we got the core already. We got a good staple piece as it relates to offense. And a lot of people saying that, okay, the team went 8-8 last year because of this and because of that. News flash, Cowboy Nation. News flash. A lot of people said if we had a better coaching, we would have easily been 9-7. A lot of people said if we had a better coaching, we would have been easily 10-6, 11-5. Some of those games we were not prepared. One thing that I can't say from people that understand the game, who actually played the game, said, hey, one thing that we know about Mike McCarthy, he have a game plan already in line. He have preparations already there. We didn't have preparation last year. We got lax a little bit because I think we blew out a team before the team. And then all of a sudden we walk in talking about the hot boys are back and these sort of things and get punched right in the jaw with the New York Jets. I don't care what everybody says. I don't care what nobody says about Dak Prescott, about Ezekiel Elliott. We were not prepared for that Jets game. Yes, somebody can say the left tackle was out. Yes, somebody can say that Amari Cooper, he went down in the first quarter, what have you. But we were not prepared. And I told everybody, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Yes, we clawed our way back to that game. Yes, it was one of the situations where, hey, If they make this 2-point conversion, maybe we tie this thing up. Of course, they didn't call pass interference on old reliable. But I can tell you that a little political football was being played last year. Y'all don't see those games? Y'all didn't see that we had one of our explosive weapons, Jarwin, sitting on the sideline majority of the snaps of the games? And all of a sudden, we supposed to be that team to overcome that? Didn't y'all see that we was pushing the ball down the field vertically, passing the ball, passing the rock against the Minnesota Vikings? And they took it away from Dak Prescott and they put the ball in Ezekiel Elliott's hand. But we'll go back and forth and say, well, in crucial moments, Dak Prescott didn't win that game, you see. We will point the finger not knowing that we got 3 pointing back at us, you see. All I'm trying to say is, Cowboy Nation, is that dial it back a little bit. Think about it. You put some real football knowledge, football coach, football pedigree into the system. We easily in the playoff last season. Oh, and Scarface 38, the ref screwed us several times as well. Yes. The same thing that people are crying about are going to be happy about this season. Think about it. If we beat the Minnesota Vikings, if we beat the Saints, if we go out there and beat the Jets, you know what would have happened? Regardless of the situation or the scenario, we know that Jerry Wayne Jones loved his son, Jason Garrett. They say the same thing make you laugh, make you cry, and the same thing to make you cry, make you laugh, right? We would have still had to clap him. So sometimes in life, things happen for a reason, right? Think about it. Let that sink into your mental. Would you rather have Jason Garrett for this year, 2020, heading into 2020, or we happen the way that it happened? You see, for 8-8. Would you rather have Jason Garrett, and going into this 2020 season, because you guys know we wouldn't going to win the Super Bowl, but Jerry Wayne Jones would have figured out a way and said, "Hey, we won the division, We won the division 3 times out of 4 years." Hey, and I really think that the Cowboys, the way we match up against the Seattle Seahawks, I think that Jason Garrett wouldn't have folded like the Eagles did against the doggone Seattle Seahawks. Especially playing at our home, because it would have been a home game for us. Boy, we'd have beat the Seattle Seahawks or whoever we would have played. We would have had Jason Garrett. We would have been talking about, hey, what about this guy? What about that guy? You know what I mean? It would have been the same situation. We would have had Jason Garrett for the 2020 season. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. I can't lie to kick it. So would you rather have Jason Garrett heading into 2020 with your 1 playoff win? And we talking about, well, if only we do this and only we do that. Hey, if only we do this and only we move this out the way, maybe, just maybe. And we would have been going through the same talk track. McCarthy is a footballs guy. It took us hell and high water to get to this point, to get football people to come into this system. You see all of the experiences they getting out there as it relates to the defensive side of the ball. That's wise. That's wise. That's wise. He looking at it like, hey, I'm just going to be on the offensive side of the situation. I'm going to bring in people with experience. If anybody loved the Minnesota Vikings defense from 2014 to 2019, we got that. We went and got their defensive coordinator. We brought him in and say, okay, we want you to just, you know what, just coach up our linebackers. Don't you know that he probably on the phone talking about, Anthony Harris, what's up, man? Come on, man. I know you still want to play in my system. Your name is barely recognized now. Can you imagine playing for that silver and blue on the side? With that star on the side of your helmet? 10 years with the clap. No Garrett, no way. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And this, trust me, I'm not hating on Jason Garrett. I think that he's a wonderful person. I love the way he talk in person, you know, great person. You can't find a negative way when you're talking to him in person. You got a great spirit around him. If you ever met Jason Garrett, you know what I'm talking about. I think that he may do a great job over there in New York. But as the head coach, he just not that head coach material. I've been telling people for a long time, he just not head coach material. And that's just the reality of it. Nice guys don't equal titles. Yes, playmaker, yes. We need somebody to move some furniture around. We need to have somebody to hold somebody accountable. And I do know that a lot of times people look at it from the outside looking in and say, you know what, Law, you 100% wrong because Jason Garrett do hold people accountable. Bull sugar. Them players wasn't worried about being getting suspended and these sort of things for 7 straight years. Not 3, not 2, for 7 straight years. Somebody on the defensive side of the ball got suspended for the first few games. That's our momentum heading into the season. Don't you think that a coach with some bronze about himself, got some cojones, you think that you'll come in there? Let's use this. I like to give analogies and these sort of things. People that grew up with strict fathers, people that grew up in strict households or what have you. You know, curfew's 11 o'clock. With a strict father, your ass gonna be there at 10:30. You're going to be there at 10 o'clock. You're going to say, man, I'm not even going to waste the time. I'm not even going to be able to play with it, you see. But with that laxy-daisy father, you're going to walk right up in there at 11:30, saying, you know what, Pops, you know, I kind of overslept where I was at. Hey, next time I won't do it again, I promise. Y'all know what I'm telling the truth, but that grinder's edition father, he said, okay, you walked up in here at 11:01. You belong to me. I'm gonna make you earn and respect this. I'm gonna make you respect this ruling right here, you say. So my thing is, Cowboy Nation, when we look at the total picture, Jason Garrett, he was just that lackadaisy father. He was that guy that say, okay, well, I understand that you overslept. I understand that you had a little weed in your system. I understand that you got drunk the night before. I've been down that road before, but let me tell you something, you know, don't let it happen again, you know. We'll see you next week, you know. So that's just the difference between the two. Not saying that Mike McCarthy is going to run in here to set the tone and set the pace, because a lot of things, you know, a lot of things could change when you're in the Jerry Wayne administration. But I will say, collectively speaking, it's been 10 years and we have yet to see anything strict from Jason Garrett camp. But that's just me telling you guys how it is. If you guys want me to say something else, post it down in the comment box. So looking towards the 2020 season with this offense, I want to be able to peel back to 2014 season. We had continuity going with DeMarco Murray. We had the situation going on with Tony Romo. We had the situation going on with Desmond Bryant. Those were our top threes. Those were our guys. Those were everybody that we looked at and said, okay, man, if these guys can stay together. But what happened? Money came into the picture. Big old money came into the picture. The Dallas Cowboys organization looked at DeMarco Murray and they said, you know what, we can get better production from a Randall. You see what I'm saying? Joseph Randall, I think that was his name. He wore 21. They thought that. A lot of Cowboys fans thought the same thing. Hey, there's a lot of meat left on the bone and these sort of things. DeMarco Murray playing basketball with the football. We don't need him. Let's get rid of him. You remember that story? But people fail to realize that there's something to do with continuity, rapport. There's something to do with that. It's a lot. These players play for one another. These players check on one another. They go to the game, to other activities with one another. And they see the writing on the wall that they're being scrutinized, sullied, and denigrated upon, and they put the blood, sweat, and tears together. And you think with your natural eye that this is this is just business. These are young kids, 20 and 22, 23 years old. Sometimes 25 and 26, talking about big money. The craziest thing of it all is that the following year, I kid you not, the person that's on his assignment to actually help Tony Romo out was not DeMarco Murray, you say. I'm just here to tell you guys that we got to look at the bigger picture sometimes. Of course, Dak Prescott may not be the best quarterback ever for your eyes or what have you. Dak Prescott may not can hit the water if he fell off a boat. Y'all know I always say that, right? But dog it, he is the leader of that team. People rally around him. They listen to him. And if you listen to Ezekiel Elliott, he said, hey, Dak is the heart and soul of this team. And moving back a little bit about Amari Cooper. Remember, we were 3-5. We were 3-5 before he came into the scene. And one can argue that Ezekiel Elliott, all of the holding out he was talking about doing, he wouldn't have got his paper. That extra year for Jason Garrett there, I say, wouldn't have been here, you see, without Amari Cooper. Everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, talking about Amari Cooper is trash. Now, I want people to research plantar fasciitis and see if you can run on that foot. You see, for those who had it, they already know. They ain't going to talk on it. I want people to understand that this organization, they went out and they paid a Jalen. Jalen Smith, he wasn't even asking for the money. He just walked into the office one day, oh, here's the money. Okay, I'll take it. Lyle Collins wasn't even thinking that he was having a good season. Oh, y'all gonna give me the money? Okay, I'll sign it. You see, the orders and the affairs are wrong. I know that a lot of people say that, well, hell, Dak Prescott, it's his fault. He should have signed that $33 million contract for 8 years or what have you. They try to undercut the brother who already been undercutted, you see. And they say, well, Law, wait a minute. Dak said he's not playing for the money. But it's something to do with disrespect. Come on now. You mean to tell me, and I have to bring in this angle, I know a lot of people only going to look at it from the outside looking in, and they're going to say, well, Goff went to the Super Bowl, Carson Wentz got him a Super Bowl ring or what have you. I heard that statement all the time. And Carson Wentz won the game when it counted the most with backup players, Walmart All-Stars. I heard the story time and time again, right? Especially from the Cowboys haters that's out there. Some Cowboys, quote unquote, say that they are fans when they rooted deep down into this situation, but they can pull up everything else that to slander this team. But that's okay. That's okay, actually. But I heard the story. But can you imagine you made only $4 million? I don't want to hear about the endorsements. It's equivalent to me saying that, okay, when I go to my day job, hey, don't pay me at my day job because I'm making YouTube money. You see, it's not the same, Cowboy Nation. But what I'm saying is that the brother made $4 million. $4 million. Goff, Wentz, they made about 18, 20 million their first year. Let that sink in. I don't know about you all, but $680,000. Look, at one point, Rico Gathers is making more money than Dak Prescott. At one point, if you add in the bonuses and these sort of things. At one point, this is crazy. Put it like this. The way the NFL salary structure is that. I want you guys to look up Michael Gallup. He's making more money than Dak Prescott. Let that sink in. Michael Gallup is making more money than Dak Prescott. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. It's all according to when you are drafted, of course. But people will look at the total situation and say to themselves, like, hey, this is not even right. This guy just came in his second year making more money than Dak Prescott. That is how the salary structure is. And people will look at it and say, this is supposed to be the leader of your team? It's crazy. Let that sink in, though, Cowboy Nation. But when we look at the salary situation, $33 million stretched out over 7 years, come on, it's a slap in the face. All he's saying is that, hey, pay me the top tier contract, and I have to break this down. At one point, Carr brother, when he signed his $25 million contract, everybody, mama, uncle, cousin was like, man, you know what? Shout out to the kid. He reset the market. They knew what was going on. They said that, yeah, he had that MVP type of year. Remember that? He didn't get the MVP, but he had that caliber of year. I think he didn't win a playoff game or what have you, but everybody was saying like, hey, this is the next phenom. I remember that year, they was looking at it like Carr was way better than Dak Prescott. And then when you put up the numbers, they was like mirroring each other. almost. Carr did had a better season collectively, but they was really close. He signed that $25 million contract. People were like losing their mind. I come here to tell you all that by him signing that contract, Aaron, the dirty man, nature boy, Roger, said, you know what? It's time for me to get mine. And during that time frame, it was like Aaron Rodgers was the quote unquote Pat Mahomes type of years, you see. And this is just recent. This is just recent. The $33 million contract that he signed was way beyond the $25 million that Carr signed. But I come here to tell you guys, I'm just like a preacher, is if it wasn't for Carr signing his $25 million contract, resetting the market, amen, if it wasn't for him putting the ink on paper and signing that outlandish contract, dare I say, Aaron Rodgers didn't have a place to sign, quote unquote, his contract, amen. But I come here to tell you that when he signed the $33 million contract, it justified the fact that he's greater, dare I say, than a Carr brother. And what happened in between that contract, what happened there, Cowboy Nation? It opened the alleyways and the doorways for, dare I say, the Garoppolos of the world. It opened up the alleyways and the byways and the for the dare I say, Matthew Stafford. He got him a $27 million contract. It opened up the alleyway for Kirk Cousins to walk up in there and say, hey, they franchised me 2 years in a row. They don't believe in me, but I declare and I decree that my level of activity should be around this area based upon my quote unquote stats. And that's what they said. You know what? Based upon your stats, here is the money that you should receive. But it wouldn't happen if Carr didn't sign a $25 million contract. Boy, y'all ain't gonna like me here today, but I want you to turn to your neighbor and slap your neighbor and tell him, hey, the salary cap is increasing, baby. The salary cap is increasing. It's never a stable piece number. And to bring this home to everybody, to let everybody hear what I have to say about this, and I'm gonna go home. When you look at it, you will say, let's say $30 million is your baseline. I don't want to pay Dak Prescott no more than $30 million in closing, right? Slap your neighbor, right? Even if you pay Dak Prescott $30 million and you say to yourself, I can't afford the extra 5 or I can't afford the extra 6. I want you to look into the bigger picture and say we paid Tyrone Crawford last season probably around $8.9 million to sit on the bench. I know that he was injured, what have you. I know that he was injured. But that's $38 million right there. Did we miss Crawford that much? Was Crawford ever the difference maker for that much? I do know that people are going to say, yeah, he the heart and soul of this defense or what have you, but no, didn't miss Crawford that much. That's one player. That's one player stretched out over the next 3 years. On top of the fact that salary cap is always increasing. So all I can say is that, yeah, pass the collection plate around. Donations. But I come here to tell you guys that 38 or even a $40 million contract will not set this team back. And on top of that, Dak is not even asking for 40. Came out the other day. So what's the holdup? Pay the man, keep the continuity going. I think he's going to get paid regardless. It's just the Jerry Wayne Joneses. Jerry Wayne Joneses want to be ahead of the spotlight and ahead of the attention. And people talking about the Cowboys more than they talk about the XFL, more than they talking about the Super Bowl. All right, Cowboy Nation, that's all the time that I have for this beautiful day. I really appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in to the nation. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content, let a friend, neighbor, foe know where to go. Shout out to those that's on my Facebook. Shout out to those that's on my Instagram, as well as those that's on my Twitch, Twitter, lawnations.net, and what else? MySpace and Black Planet. Really appreciate you all that's tuning in as well. And Periscope, really do. Let's go one way or another. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. And shout out to the mods, man. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Fantastic job. Shout out to you. Let's go. Amen. Yeah, don't leave. The benediction. I play. Let's go, baby.